Cynthia Osokogu was born on November 10, 1987, in the Delta State of Nigeria. She had 3 older brothers and was the last child and only daughter of her parents, a retired Army General Frank and Joy Rita Osokogu. She was a graduate of English language at Nasarawa State University in Kefi, Nigeria, and was pursuing a master's degree in public administration after working in a telecommunications company. Cynthia also pursued modeling and owned a boutique named Dress Code in 2007. She was described as hardworking, loving, and industrious by her family and had achieved so much by the age of 24. Once Facebook became popular, Cynthia developed some friendships after chatting with a newly added friend named Okumo Nwabufor via BlackBerry Messenger over a span of 4 months. Shortly after, she also befriended his cousin, Ezike Oliseloka. Okumo told Cynthia he was a student at Lagos State University and that he had connections that could help her with her fashion business, claiming that they are in the same business, and offered to be her vendor to supply for her. Cynthia already had someone in the US who sent her goods to sell in her business, but once he offered to sell the same things at a lower price, she accepted the offer. To Cynthia, they appeared as normal young men and reliable college students. However, she had no idea that Okumo had been stalking her for months, patiently gaining her trust through frequent chats and postings. After continuing communications, the men gave Cynthia an offer that she couldn't refuse: a flight ticket to Lagos and decent hotel accommodations where he would bring his 2 business associates to meet her. The day arrived for Cynthia to meet her new business partners, and she flew from Abuja to Lagos to discuss with the alleged retailers. Once she landed, she called her mother to tell her that she arrived safely. The 2 men she was in communication with picked her up from the Murtala Muhammed International Airport and drove her to Cosmilla Hotel in Lagos. They checked into the hotel around 8 a.m., and while at the hotel, all 3 of them were chatting before the men offered her a soft drink, and she drank it. But what she didn't know was that it was drugged with Rohypnol, which is a powerful tranquilizer often used as roofies in date rapes. After the men realized the drug was not taking effect on her quickly enough, they tied her up, gagged her, and used clear tape to cover her mouth. Horrifically, they began beating on her and demanding her money, as they assumed she would have plenty, and took the money she brought to shop for her business. They also took 3 of her BlackBerry phones, jewelry, her international passport, driver's license, and proceeded to assault her multiple times over the course of hours before strangling her to death. The next morning, after having spent the night with Cynthia's body in the hotel, they vacated the room, left the hotel, and quickly deleted her off of Facebook to rid any traces of their connection. Unbeknownst to them, there was a hidden CCTV camera in the hotel which recorded part of the event. Before leaving the hotel, Okumo told the receptionist he was going to get money from the ATM to pay for the night, and that his girlfriend was still in the room, which prohibited her from entering until she vacated. She told him to come back before 12 p.m. since the room will expire, and the men never returned. At 3 p.m., the receptionist received a phone call. It was Okumo again. He said he was the occupant of the room who left recently, told her he was not coming back, and demanded that, in his words, the body of the bastard be removed from their hotel room. She then informed the hotel manager about what had happened, and the manager assured her that his girlfriend in the room would pay for the room since she is still here. The receptionist called the room multiple times, but without success. The manager followed upstairs and knocked several times, but did not receive a response. The receptionist tried again after the manager instructed her to use the master key as a last resort. And to her horror, she saw Cynthia's lifeless body from the door, lying naked on the bed, horizontal with her legs touching the ground. Her hands were tied behind her back and supported with a padlock chain. The receptionist screamed with shock and rushed downstairs to inform the manager, who alerted police. From the CCTV footage from the hotel played to her by the police, the receptionist recognized the duo and then again at the police station. When Cynthia's body was found, the police had no details about the identity of the deceased. From a yellow card that was found at the scene, police got her passport number from the internet, and the Nigerian Immigration Service was able to link her up and establish her actual identity. After going through Cynthia's call logs, it officially tied the crime to the two men, Okumo and Ezike. All this time, unaware of Cynthia's murder, her family and friends were praying for her safe return. Meanwhile, her mother tried calling Cynthia's cell phone for 5 days without success. On the 7th day, she recalled one of the men picked up the call and said Cynthia was sick. After going back and forth, they then implied that Cynthia was actually kidnapped and asked the mother for 20 million naira in ransom. Her mom asked if they killed her, and they insisted they didn't, and that she was just sick. Cynthia's autopsy determined that her cause of death was asphyxia or suffocation. Her body had multiple bruises and abrasions suspected to be bite marks. A funeral service for Cynthia was held in August 2012. On August 27, 2012, 4 men were arrested. The 2 men who were identified as Cynthia's Facebook friends, the pharmacist who sold the sedative to the men, and Ezike's brother who helped sell Cynthia's BlackBerry phones. The 2 men were charged with conspiracy, murder, armed robbery, sexual assault, unlawful administration of obnoxious substance, and forceful administration of obnoxious substance with a view to causing bodily harm. The pharmacist was charged with negligent selling Rohypnol without showing due care or a doctor's prescription, and the brother was charged with being in possession of 3 stolen BlackBerry phones from Cynthia. All of them pleaded not guilty. After the arrests, several other women came forward as survivors of the 2 and said they also fell victim to the criminals who drugged them, tied them, and then robbed them. The men later confessed that they robbed 5 women before Cynthia. Police also found many ATM cards, 23 SIM cards, and different identity cards on them. During the trial, one piece of evidence brought to the court was a recorded confession after their arrests from the 2 men. They recalled meeting Cynthia on Facebook on their BlackBerries and invited her to come to Lagos to buy goods at cheap prices. When she got to Lagos, they took her to a hotel. They thought she had a lot of money, but she said she didn't have any money. They claimed they gave her a Reflon tablet in her drink. They also confirmed attacking her to tell them where she kept her money. When they didn't get any money from her, they tied her mouth and strangled her, and then abandoned her in the hotel before fleeing. They confessed that they knew what they did and everything was over. Their confession was consistent with the state of the body and medical evidence. But their story never stays consistent.
She's coming to Lagos, and which I assisted her in getting the flight ticket to come. So when she came over to Lagos, that was on 20th of July. We stayed together till the 21st of July, when in the morning, me and my cousin we were able to try to dislodge her of her belongings. In the process of doing it, we struggled with her. We started beating her up. to subdue her so that we can take whatever that belongs to her. She fainted and died.
Did you intend to kill her?
No, I don't even intend to kill her. My cousin was beating her, beating her to an extent that she lost conscious of herself.
He just called me and told me he wants me to help him bind the girl so that he can go with the girl's belongings. I don't know the girl from anywhere. I've not seen her before. I've not communicated with her before.
The court discovered that they took pictures of the deceased lying down with her international passport lying on her chest. It was also revealed that the men had another investigation in 2 separate hotels where they allegedly carried out similar crimes. They denied putting anything in Cynthia's drink or even knowing about Rohypnol. With delusion, Akumo also claimed that Cynthia was his lover and that they were planning to get married before her death. He alleged that he met her while shopping in 2011, dismissing the allegations of meeting on Facebook. He said that when he met her, she was initiating conversations on business, and that was what led them to exchange contacts. They then developed a friendship and became very close. However, there is no evidence to support this claim. In fact, during cross-examinations, he could not recall Cynthia's birthday, her mother's name, her hometown, or actually anything about her. The men denied everything and even claimed that their confession was made under duress, which was later proven false. They also denied having sexual relations with Cynthia, adding that the condom found in the hotel room was not used by them and they used objects instead. There was also speculation that their motive was ritualistic, but it appeared that it was greed and their main goal was to rob and kill. Though there was no specific reason as to why Cynthia, the police theorized that perhaps the men were angered at the lack of payday after spending so much money to get her there and believed she would have a large amount of cash as she was the daughter of a retired army general. Or maybe Cynthia attempted to scream for rescue even after being sedated, which made the men want to take that extra step of ending her life. We will never really know the true motive, but the court did not care. Both of the men were found guilty and each given 80 years imprisonment combined for their charges. The judge discharged and acquitted the 2 other accused persons. On March 23, 2017, the men were sentenced to death by hanging. The judge said, "I pronounce the judgment of this court upon you. Both of you should be hanged by the neck till you are dead. May the Lord have mercy on your souls." The judge said it was no longer relevant to know who between the 2 actually killed Cynthia, because the second man acted in consent and will have to bear the consequences. Cynthia's murder exposed the dark side of the internet in a way that most people could not imagine in 2012. Her mother advised the youth to be very cautious of making friends with people that they did not know. She stated, the youth should be very careful, especially when they are making friends on social media. Like we have seen in the case of my daughter, such friends may have ulterior motives. The police said the case was a wake-up call to parents to become more vigilant about what their children are involved with while surfing the web. The crime buster, Okoro, now a deputy commissioner of police, got a national honor from then-President Goodluck Jonathan for his accomplishments as a detective in the case and his rejection of a $15 million bribe that was allegedly offered by one of the suspects. Cynthia's story also inspired the 2013 Nigerian film Murder at Prime Suites. May Cynthia reach eternal rest, and thank you all for watching.